You see, like when my youngest daughter, she's so beautiful, but when it came time for like doll playing and things, she didn't want that. She didn't want the dolls. She wanted to know why I wasn't giving my son the dolls. Well, if I have to play with dolls, why doesn't my brother play with
like
dolls?
It's punishment?
Yeah, but it was real though. It was real for her because she was very strong in who she is at a very young age. And I think we need to encourage our daughters to be that. If you don't like what your girlfriends are doing tell them. And if you're not strong enough to tell them, then disassociate. Disassociate until you're strong enough to either tell them or they're wise enough to figure it out. But don't lose who you are in the process of being friends with someone or, being on the in crowd or other clique, I guess you would say. Because it's a different part of losing yourself.
Right.
It's one thing to be lost and then to lose yourself even more. You go further into the road and it's like, wait a minute, there's no lights, there's no navigation system. I don't know how to get out. I don't even know, a lot of people don't even know they're lost. Yeah.
But when we had before, I showed you a picture of the young woman who was on Christian Mills, and she is a very, very, very poised young woman, and she was just sharing with us some of the experiences that she's had with, like you were talking about, like with the friendships and having to disassociate, and at that age, to have the strength to do that.
Right.
Is amazing, and it's a testament to her parents and to they're a Christian family. Right. And at our age, it's one thing.
Right.
Because you see something, you're like, I don't even want to go over there.
Right.
It was very nice meeting you, and you can be on your way because you can see this is not anything, I don't want any part of this in my life.
Right.
But when you're 15, 16, 17, all you see is this thing.
Right.
And your spirit knows that this is not okay, but our flesh at that age just doesn't have the strength normally to step away. Right.
We don't want to be lonely. It starts when we're young. We don't want to be as an infant. When you see a child who's being coddled by their mother, and the mom puts them down. What does the baby usually do?
Crying.
Right. So the baby usually starts crying, right? And it's part of the process that we fight all our lives. We just fight it differently. Who wants to sit in the house by themselves all day, every day? As a teenager, when life is just becoming fun and interesting and new and still free, quote unquote, you're not paying any bills. Right. I don't want to sit in the house. I'm going to go hang out with Stephanie. But Stephanie's not really cool, and I feel it that she's not really cool. But it's something to do. Because if I don't hang out with Stephanie, there's no one to hang out with. Or if I don't, there's the opposite end of it, not having anyone to hang out with, having people to hang out with, but those people get picked on too. And who wants to get picked on? So I might as well ride with them. And so we are allowing, and it's a rite of passage, I guess you can say, to be picked on. But it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't.
And it doesn't make it a good passage,
What was your experience? Because when mine was the second one. Mine was all the friends that I hung out with got picked on.
Right.
We kind of knew it. Well, we knew it, absolutely. But we, even at that age, identified ourselves, not necessarily vocally, but there was this kind of, we're all misfits, in the back of our minds. And to look at us, you would never know. I look at my friends now, I'm like, you guys are beautiful, But back then you didn't know. So what was it like for you?
My mom, Mattel, was the dopest woman in the world. Seriously, she didn't play that. It was, you be who you want to be, and you do what you want to do. I used to get called Oreo, right?
Me too.
I did.
No new thing under the sun. Right, we weren't original.
Right. So I called myself a trendsetter. I swear by this. My daughter was laughing at me last night. Her and one of her girlfriends. We were in the car. I said, "Listen, I was so cool. I invented trends. I didn't follow trends. I invented trends." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" I would wear like my thermals underneath my dresses. Nobody did that back then. And they would laugh at me, but then next thing you know, they were wearing their thermals underneath their dresses. Now, I did get picked on by some people in the neighborhood, but that's because I was different.
Right.
And they said I spoke proper, whatever. But I came from a different school. I came from a school of don't mess with me and I won't mess with you. And if you touch me, I won't touch you. But if you touch my sister, I'm going to touch you back. But we're going to be playing tomorrow.
Right.
It wasn't people dying. It wasn't extravagant and as animated as it is today. But I was a nerd and I loved it. I couldn't wait to get to school because there were people at school who were like me, who understood what was going on with me. And then the people in my block, they were cool too, but they were usually nerds too. You know, so it was easier for me than a lot of people that I know. And especially a lot of the young girls today. Because a lot of the young girls today are following the images that they see at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's tough to say that, but it is. It's exactly what's happening. You see a 12-year-old little girl with, you know, braids down here and her head looking like it's hurting, and she's walking behind or beside a mom who's doing the same thing. And we're making our daughters our girlfriends instead of our children. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I talk about my niece a lot, and I miss my family. I miss them terribly.
Where are they?
If they're in Nairobi.
Okay, yes.
But I would not have them exposed to this stuff. I hate to say that because I know my sister and my brother-in-law would they're doing a beautiful job of raising them, but like we were talking about the imagery on television and they don't have a TV.
Right.
And I'm so grateful that that's not a part of their every minute, every day, come on, turn the TV on.
Right.
And that there's so much going on, Gennie. I would be terrified right now.
You know what, too? We take a lot of it and we put it on girls, but our boys have so much more, too. I mean, because then they're told, hey, you're not popping if you don't have a chick that looks like that. You know what I'm saying? If she ain't rocking this and if she's not doing that, then you're not doing anything. You know, so boys have this thing that they have to live up to as well. So it's kind of like everybody's trying to live up to this facade that nobody has.
No one can.
No one has.
No, it's not important.
It's not.
It's just not.
It's not. Because we all gonna get buried. We all gonna get buried. So we have to get to the point where we live before we get buried. And so if you're walking around programmed, are you living or are you existing?
Exactly.
I choose to live. And so like Sisters in the Circle, that's part, I love it when we get together. We get together, sometimes we come and have like, I call them jammy jams, where we just all get on the phone and we just go through. If somebody's going through something, they call, we get on that phone tree, and our business is our business.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about calling Sister Heaven and then next week you over here and your business is with Sister Keisha. You don't, that's not what goes on, because if we hear about it, you're gone. And you'll come back probably, but you have to show, don't speak, you show. So it's safe. It's a safety. It's a safety for all of us, because somebody has to have someone to listen to. You can't carry the world. You can't without starting to feel it and take it out on people, and yourself. Back to the health.
Right.
Back to the health.
Well, I think we have 3 minutes left, and
it's good. Hour already?
I know. Isn't
Oh my
that
gosh! Yeah, that was good.
We have just a few minutes left, and Wayne is over there, and I don't even. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Wayne.
But I do want to. We'll get the website address, and the email address up for the YouTube. But I just wanted you to go ahead and give it now.
Oh, okay.
You can put Dave's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sisters in the Circle, and it's SISTERS, the letter N, the circle is spelled CIRLCE .gmail.com. and then sisters, letter N, thecircle.yolasite.com. And then I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gennie, yes, that was a very fast hour.
That was.
I know.
That was fun.
It was very fun.
Okay.
I'm inviting in the Upper Room Ministry to some of the events with the children.
Okay. Beautiful.
Because,
See? Beautiful.
That's part of what we do here.
Yes.
So we love to do that and go film those things and then come back and talk about it again.
Okay.
So I'll keep in touch with you. We'll make sure that we see each other in the spring, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.